All right, beautiful winter day at one of my favorite bushcraft spots. Looks like the water has come back. It's been pretty dry. The sun's just kind of poking out here. A little bit of this is frozen. So I've got my fire pit kind of starting here. So a big piece of pine slabs. We're gonna get some kindling and some tinder, and then we're going to set up a bushcraft chair, and we're gonna set up a tripod for cooking, make some stew and some mocha. Okay, so I got the bushcraft seat pretty well tied together here with my wraps and fraps. Got to go find one extra piece for the seat itself, and we will have a place to sit, not on the snow, not on the ground. All right, so the bushcraft chair is good to go. I've got that tied up, and I've given myself a little extra support here by putting a couple jam knots in the corners. It's not the prettiest one that I've ever made, and it probably needs a little bit of adjustment, but does not have to be perfect to keep me off the cold ground. So now I'm gonna get some much smaller pieces to make another tripod for cooking, so I can try out my new S-hook that I got. Stay tuned. We've got my tripod together here. I just used a double fisherman's knot to put over all three of these pieces, and then I used this middle piece and spun it around a few times as a windlass to create tension. Took some scrap paracord and put it down with this S-hook, which I've never used before. I always just use something from the woods, but excited to use this, one less thing to cut. And instead of wrapping everything around the top like I usually do, I just took the other piece once I got the height that I wanted here, and I just tied it off so it can't move. So now we're gonna go gather up our wood and get a fire going because I'm getting cold and I want some coffee. Got the fire going, plenty of good wood around, mostly pine, so it was easy to find kindling. And I just made about a softball size of pine shavings, and then I got one feather stick to light with the ferro rod, and I just put that in the pile and it was up from there. So I'm gonna let this burn down a little bit while I just sit back and enjoy the warmth, and then we will get the stew on for a boil and get the mocha on and get nice and warm. Already feeling better out here. Okay, got that S-hook moving, so this water is gonna just boil up a little bit, and I'm gonna make some nice Aeropress coffee. And I have found, which I wish I'd known this years ago, that just a little scoop, like a tablespoon and a half of just everyday hot chocolate mix in your coffee is freaking awesome. So I'm gonna wait for this to boil and then pour myself a cup and just sit and enjoy the warmth of the fire and the silence of the wintertime. So there's our boil. So we're gonna take that off boil for 30 seconds and get ourselves some mocha coffee. All right, one delicious cup of mocha as I get ready to stoke up the fire. Cheers. Little pair of Bushcraft tongs, which I know how well they're working. I found a piece of a sapling, green wood, obviously, split down, and I just made a whipping at the end and put a piece of green wood here in the middle. We're gonna try to toast this bagel over the fire because I didn't have flour to make bannock, and put some apple butter on it and see if we can have ourselves a super late breakfast. Well, I'll tell you what, if you've only ever used a toaster before, you're not really prepared for just how quickly even a dying fire like this one with just some coals in it can really toast up your bread. I'd say under 30 seconds, this was toasted. Got some apple butter going. So I'm gonna munch on this. I'll probably make myself another one and then pack up and head out.